Sorry. He hired a couple guys, researchers from IBM in the 1990s, and these guys, what they had done, and they are now co-CEOs of the whole place. What they had done is they had created some of the first machine learning and very effective algorithms at translating one language to another. Before these guys came along, the way algorithms that translated languages worked is usually the guy who wrote the software was bilingual, right? And so he kind of knew how French worked and he kind of knew how English worked. Well, he knew how both of them worked completely. And he wrote algorithms, these very long strings of rules and sets of things that would match up the words together as you went from one to the other. And it was an attempt to write very, very elegant code, because how else would you mete out all these little nuances that exist between French and English? And this software never worked very well. Now these guys, the guys at Renaissance, the guys at IBM at that time, they didn't know French at all, and they didn't want to know it. They said, what we're going to do is we're going to use some machine learning algorithms that will make their own rules as they go, and we're just going to feed it data, two sets, one in English, one in French. Well, where could they get such data that they knew would be absolutely accurate? Well, of course, Canada has two official languages, and every time Parliament meets, it's translated in the other language painstakingly by a person who understands both languages very well. So they fed over 1 million words over a course of 3 or 4 years into this algorithm. They ended up making this very efficient set of algorithms that translated English to French and back again. And they took that same science then to Renaissance technologies, and some of it involves predictiveness, because they're trying to predict what word will come after this, if knowing what the 3 words were before it. And that's also how speech recognition software works at this point. And they took that to Wall Street, and they've proceeded to make 30 or 40% year over year since the early 90s, and everybody over at Renaissance is very rich and very secretive. But when Renaissance talks about what they do, they really don't. When other people talk about Renaissance, what they do, one word comes up more often than others, and of course that's algorithms, right? So, but the only reason we can make algorithms that change our lives and that change these fields and that do what humans do better is because of the data that informs them. This is the exact same story. Big data and algorithms are the same story. We get these algorithms that tease out these nuanced relationships that we wouldn't instinctively conceive of because of these big data sets that they're able to eat. We hear of these algorithms too, like they're famous people that we should know who they are. A new web app or a new whatever it is website, and you go, how does that work? How does that work? Oh, it's an algorithm. Oh yeah,